Hello students, welcome back to the English class. I'm your English teacher Miss Rachna Chandarana and I'm back with another learning video of English language. In today's learning video, we are going to recap English literature for our Terminal 1 examination. And the lesson that we are going to cover today is lesson number 3, King Shibi and the Two Birds. To start with, I want you to refer to your Real English course book and take out page number 14, that is lesson number 3, King Shibi and the Two Birds. Today's video is a recap video. In this, we are going to see the animation and reading of the story. Then we will see the summary. Then we will have a quick recap of the new words. Then the word bank. Then we will see a recap of exercise A1, that is choose the correct answers. Then we will do exercise A2, that is say whether true or false. And lastly, we will do exercise A3, that is answer these questions. In short, this is a short recap for the whole lesson, King Shibi and the Two Birds. If you see this video, it will be a good revision for your Terminal Examination 1. So let's get started. To start with, we will first see the animation and the reading of the story.
King Shibi and the Two Birds. King Shibi was famous all over the world and in the heaven for his kindness and good governance. He made sure that every being in his kingdom got justice and lived in peace. One day, Shibi saw in his garden a wounded pigeon, flapping its wings in a desperate effort to fly. The king lifted the bird from the ground and wrapped it in his shawl to comfort it. The next moment, he saw a fierce falcon landing on the parapet. Shibi at once realized how the pigeon was wounded and why it looked so frightened. The falcon spoke in a human voice. "O king, you are known as a kind ruler living for the well-being of your subjects. But today you are being cruel to me. I saw you guarding that pigeon which was my prey. Why do you snatch my food from me?" Shibi replied, "O king of birds, this poor pigeon is hurt and tired. It came to my refuge trusting that I would save its life. Just as you do not want to die of hunger, this little bird does not want to be eaten by a predator. Please tell me in return of this pigeon's life what other food I can offer you." The falcon said, "Food is the first choice of every living thing. Without food, we all die. If I die, my children that have just hatched will not survive either. Please decide if it is right to save one life at the cost of many lives. To protect this pigeon, you are letting my whole family die. Is this justice?" This question from the falcon put Shibi in a dilemma. He thought for a while and said, "It is one's supreme duty to protect someone in danger. A king cannot get away from his duties even if everyone else does. I can give you my whole kingdom if you promise not to harm this pigeon." "This is no solution to my problem," persisted the argumentative falcon. "I am a carnivorous bird. To give me food, you will anyway have to kill another creature. Does it make any difference? Consider this solution. Please give me some flesh from your body, equal to the weight of this pigeon." How well this falcon argues, thought Shibi. It has the accurate sense of right and wrong. Shibi at once ordered a balance to be brought. In one of its dishes, he placed the pigeon. He then cut a chunk of flesh from his thigh with a sword and put it on the other dish. The pigeon's dish hung low. Shibi now cut a larger chunk of flesh and placed it in the dish. The pigeon still outweighed the flesh. Shibi kept carving his body until there was barely any flesh left around his bones. The balance was still heavier on the pigeon's side. Finally, Shibi himself mounted the dish, hoping to equal the weight of the bird. Suddenly, divine music filled the air, and the heavens showered flowers on Shibi. The falcon and the pigeon disappeared, and in their places stood Indra, the king of gods, and Agni, the god of fire. Indra said, "Shibi, Agni and I came down from the heaven to test you. You have proved that you are far greater than people think. You will have a life full of happiness, and you will always be remembered by the mankind." Shibi's wounds disappeared as soon as these words were spoken. He closed his eyes in humble prayer as the gods vanished.
Okay, so I hope that the animation and the reading have helped you to recollect everything that you have studied about this lesson in the past. Let's see a summary of the story. In this story, there are three characters. There is a king called King Shibi, and there are two birds. One is the pigeon and one is the falcon. In this story, we see that there is a king who is a very kind and a generous king. He is very well known for his governance and his kindness in the whole world and also in the heaven. Everybody would praise him for his good governance and also his kindness. So one day this king, he found a bird which was a wounded bird, a pigeon, in his garden. He picked up the bird and he tried to comfort the bird. And then suddenly he saw a falcon. The falcon landed on his parapet, and the falcon started talking to the king in a human voice. The falcon wanted the wounded pigeon, and it said that it was its prey, and he wanted to eat the pigeon. But King Shibi did not want to give up the pigeon and its life. King Shibi wanted to save the pigeon's life. But the falcon was very argumentative. It went on arguing with the king. The falcon said that the pigeon was its prey and its food, since it was a carnivorous bird, and it had a family to look after, and it wanted that the king should hand over the pigeon to him, and so that he could eat the bird. But King Shibi tried to persuade the falcon and tried to tell the falcon to spare the pigeon and let him go. In return, he was ready to give up his whole kingdom. But the argumentative falcon was not ready to take the kingdom, because he said that he had nothing to do with the kingdom. He was a carnivorous bird and all he wanted was food, and the pigeon was its food. So King Shibi decided that he would give him another animal. Then the falcon argued back, saying that in case he wants to give him some other food, that is another animal, he would have to kill that animal too. So that would not be justice. So then the falcon suggested that King Shibi should give him a chunk of his flesh from his own body, which was equal to the weight of the pigeon. The king agreed, and he called for a balance. In one side of the balance he placed the pigeon. On the other side, he cut out a large chunk of flesh from his own body and placed it on the other side. But the pigeon weighed much more. Then King Shibi had to cut out more and more flesh from his body. No matter how much flesh he had cut out from his body, none of it would equal to the weight of the pigeon. So he decided to keep aside the sword, and he himself decided to mount the balance, in, which means that he was ready to give up his own life to save the pigeon. As soon as he mounted on the dish of the balance, suddenly divine music started playing and flowers started showering from the heaven. And in place of the falcon and the pigeon stood two gods, Lord Indra and Agni. They appeared in front of him and they started praising him. They said that they had come down from heaven to test him. They had heard a lot about King Shibi and his kindness, but they were not very sure that actually whatever they heard was true. So they wanted to test him. So when they tested him, they really found that he was even better than what they had heard about him. He was actually a very kind-hearted and a very generous king. They praised him, and they gave him blessings. They told him that he is going to live forever and he would be very happy all his life because of his good nature. So this is how the gods tested King Shibi and his kindness and his good governance. This is the story all about, and now let us go ahead and see the new words of this lesson. The first word is governance. Governance. The next word is justice. Justice. The next word is desperate. Desperate. The next word is wrapped. Wrapped. The next word is fierce. Fierce. The next word is parapet. Parapet. The next word is pigeon. Pigeon. The next word is frightened. Frightetened. The next word is falcon. Falcon. The next word is snatch. Snatch. The next word is refuge. Refuge. Next one is predator. Predator. The next one is hatched. Hatched. The next one is survive. Survive. The next word is dilemma. Dilemma. Next word is supreme. Supreme. The next word is persisted. Persisted. The next word is argumentative. Argumentative. The next word is carnivorous. Carnivorous. The next word is creature. Creature. The next word is accurate. Accurate. The next word is chunk. Chunk. The next word is sword. Sword. The next word is outweighed. Outweighed. The next word is divine. Divine. Next word is heavens. Heavens. Next one is showered. Showered. The next word is disappeared. Disappeared. The next word is humble. Humble. And the last word is vanished. Vanished. I'm sure this short recap has helped you to remember and recollect all the words that you have learnt in the past. Do not forget to revise these words as they can be asked in the terminal examination. Now let's go ahead and see the next part. In the next part, we have the word bank. Let us see the first word in the word bank. It says governance, which means ruling of a country. Number 2 is justice, which means fair treatment of people. Number 3 is desperate, which means hopeless. Number 4 is fierce, which means wild and ready to attack. Number 5 is parapet, which is a low wall along the edge of a balcony. Number 6 is snatch, which means take something quickly or grab. The next one is refuge, which means protection from danger. Number 8 is trusting. Here it means believing. Number 9 is predator, which means an animal that kills and eats other animals. Number 10 is survive, which means to continue to live despite danger. Number 11 is at the cost of something, which means the loss involved in achieving something. Number 12 is dilemma. Dilemma means difficulty of choosing between two equally important options. Number 13 is supreme, which means most important. Number 14 is argumentative, which means constantly arguing. Number 15 is carnivorous, which means meat eating. Number 16 is accurate, which means correct and true. Number 17 is chunk, which means a thick solid piece. Number 18 is outweighed, which means weighed more. Number 19 is divine, which means related to gods. Number 20 is humble, which means modest. And the last one, that is number 21, is vanished, which means disappeared suddenly. So children, these were the word bank of the lesson number 3, that is King Shibi and the two birds. Do not forget to learn the meaning of these words, as they can be asked in your terminal examination too. Now let us go ahead and see the next part. In the next part, we have exercise A1, that is choose the correct answers. Here, the first one is King Shibi was famous for. We have three options. Let us see the three options. The first one is his hunting skills. The second one is kindness to birds. And the third option is kindness and good governance. And the correct answer is yes, kindness and good governance. Let us see number 2. In return for the pigeon's life, Shibi offered the falcon. The options are 100 gold coins, his kingdom, another pigeon. And the correct answer is his kingdom. Number 3 is the falcon and the pigeon were actually dash respectively. And the options are Indra and Surya, Agni and Varuna, Indra and Agni. And the correct answer is C, that is Indra and Agni. Now let us see the next question. In the next question, we have exercise A2, which says, say whether true or false. Let us see number 1. Number 1 is, Shibi did not like falcons. Now children, this answer is false. Number 2 is, the falcon was arguing intelligently. And this statement is true. Number 3 is, at the end of the story, the falcon and the pigeon became friends and flew together. And children, this answer is false. So this was exercise A2. Now let us go ahead and see exercise A3. In exercise A3, we have answered these questions. The first question is, how was the pigeon wounded? I'm sure by now you have learned this, but let us revise it again. The answer for this question is the pigeon was attacked and wounded by a falcon. Let us see question 2 now. Number 2 is, what was the falcon's argument for hunting the pigeon? The answer is, the falcon argued that food was the priority of all creatures and the pigeon was its food. Number 3 is, what solution did the falcon offer for the king's dilemma about justice? The answer for this one is, the falcon demanded that the king should give it some flesh from his own body, equal to the weight of the pigeon. This would ensure that justice is done according to the falcon. Let us see number 4 now. Why did King Shibi himself mount the dish of the balance? The answer for this one is, King Shibi himself climbed on the dish of the balance because all the flesh he could cut from his body did not equal to the weight of the pigeon. Now children, let us see the fifth and the last question. This is a HOTS question and it is optional. Can you offer any other solution for the problem of the falcon and the pigeon? Now children, you have to think about it yourself and write it down in your notebook. This is not a compulsory question, but I would appreciate if you think of the answer yourself and write it down in your own words. So this is it from the lesson number 3, that is King Shibi and the Two Birds. In today's revision video, we have covered everything possible from this lesson, starting from the animation to the reading, then the summary, the word bank, the new words, and the 3 exercises. This is all from this lesson, that is lesson number 3, King Shibi and the Two Birds. Thank you very much for watching today's learning video. It was a revision video for Terminal 1 examination. I will be back tomorrow with another revision video in which we are going to practice a little bit of grammar. Till then, I want you to stay home, stay safe with your family and keep learning. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The name of my channel is Rachna Chandarana. So this is me, your English teacher, signing off for today. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.